Hi guys, good morning. Okay, I'm doing a little impromptu training, so sorry for the lack of notice, but I just had something that's come up a couple of times in the last couple of days during a VIP day I just finished and with a client call yesterday, and it's come up in the group, and I just wanted to take a little time to answer a question. And then I also owe you guys some thoughts on what is going to be happening with the workshop. So whether or not you're interested in sort of additional help with your Zoom presence or your brand, I do encourage you to listen to the first part of this, because I'm going to share something that I'm hoping is going to answer the question for a lot of people that keeps coming up. That is all about, like, how do you know if you are actually on brand? Or what if I don't think I have a brand? So I want to talk about that for a second. So in this VIP day that I just did with a client of mine, one of the things that we were working on is the fact that she is an entrepreneur who owns 3 businesses, and they're all completely different. So how do you ensure that you are on brand for all 3 of the businesses? And the only way that you can do that is to have complete clarity in 2 areas. And that is what I call your authentic power and then your personal brand. And so that's how I'm going to give you a little framework, so that if you are struggling a little bit with the question of, like, what does being on brand mean? Am I on brand? How do I do that? Hopefully that will give you a little bit of clarity. So if you know me, you know I love a metaphor, and I'm sorry, I make peanut butter and jelly sandwiches like every day for my son. And so this is the metaphor we're going to use for this. But take a peanut butter and jelly sandwich and think about it. Like, the ingredients of a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, the bread, the peanut butter, the jelly, they're all good. They're fine. But there's something about when you take them and you put them all together that it creates this magical combination that people crave. And maybe it's not adults craving it, but there may have been some point in your life where the peanut butter and jelly sandwich was just like the thing you had to have. But it's really only magical when you take the 3 things and put it all together. So what the heck does this have to do with your brand? Well, what I want you to do is essentially take this thing I'm calling your authentic power and your personal brand, and I want you to sandwich them together. So let me start by explaining the authentic power real quick. What that is it's literally just coming from the core values and the beliefs that you operate by. And I know in a lot of firms and a lot of businesses, we go in and we create these core values, and they feel like something that everybody is supposed to have. And often they're not even created by your real core values. They come from, almost like what you think you should have. So you got to take a second, and whether you've sort of formally spelled them out or not, I would completely ignore any formal core values you've already mapped out, and just really think about what it is that you truly believe in. And to give you a help with that, it's the things that, like, you tell your clients over and over and over again. It's the things that you instill in your kids. Like, you beat to your own drum. We believe that everybody has an opportunity to be happy. For me personally, like, my authentic power comes from the belief that I believe that everybody should feel as confident as they can. And it's more to it than that, because confidence is almost such a small word for the way I view it. But I believe that everything happens based on the way that you internally feel about yourself. So this is kind of the foundation that you're starting to build your peanut butter and jelly sandwich by, is really getting clear on, like, what that authentic power is and where it comes from. And if you're a service provider, so whether you realize it or not, these things are woven into everything that you're doing, and they're showing up in this business brand, whether you've put it there or not. So you really have to be clear on that. So, just take a couple of minutes and just write out what you think some of these values are. Write out sayings that you say to people all the time, and see what happens. Because the risk that you run into is that you start creating this brand that you're actually pushing against, because it's not actually aligned with what makes you most powerful. So for the sake of our metaphor, it's kind of like if you were making a peanut butter and jelly sandwich for somebody who's allergic to peanut butter, and you needed it to be used with sun butter or whatever. Anyway, that might be taking my metaphor too far, but stay with me. So you take that authentic power and then you have to literally sandwich it together with your personal brand. And the personal brand is literally how you personally show up and how you use yourself strategically to, one, feel good, get the results you want, all of these things. But when you get it all right, your personal brand is actually a roadmap for ensuring that, everyone's getting this peanut butter and jelly sandwich that you're creating for people, including yourself. And so it becomes this delicious recipe for success. But the trick is that it has to be specific for you. So maybe it's strawberry jelly, maybe it's sun butter, yada, yada. I promise I won't carry this on too much longer, but like you get the idea. And if you don't have the most authentic parts of those pieces, you start to create, well, let me back up a second. Most people will start to think about a brand just by thinking about their personal brand and not actually taking that authentic power that's inside of you. And what happens is you end up putting a Band-Aid on things instead of creating a sustainable success strategy. And that's what we're actually trying to do. So when you see businesses that have these killer brands and the founders look amazing, it's because they are clear on those two things, the authentic power and the personal brand. So that's just a super quick little bonus training I wanted to give you guys. There's, of course, more to go into that, but I'm hoping that those two pieces will give you a little bit of clarity to start to thinking about whether or not the current brand that you have is right for you and what you really want going forward, or if it's a good framework for you to start to actually develop a brand. So that leads me to talking about the workshop that I've been promising. And a couple of things have come up over the last few days working with people where I have realized that this clarity is actually the most important piece of all of this, whether you are up-leveling your Zoom image or whether you are up-leveling any part of your image. You have to have that clarity. So I've actually changed up the idea of doing a group workshop, and I want to actually give you guys an opportunity to specifically create your own recipe. And it's super simple. If you want more clarity, if you want any more help on this, any pieces of it, the Zoom background, how you actually dress for it, how do we make sure it's on brand, I'm just going to offer for this group only. So don't share this with your friends. It's just for you guys because this has been such a fun group to be a part of, that we're just going to jump on an hour-long strategy session. It's fast, it's personalized, it's only you and me, and we're just going to map that out for you. So the investment's $297. I never do this, but I promised a workshop and I feel bad changing it up on you, but I know that this is actually the thing that people need instead of putting everybody together in a group. So if that's something that you're interested in, simply just comment I'm in or private message me and we can get you scheduled. And it will be something that's offered through Sunday night, and then that's it. So anybody who wants help, happy to help you further that. And then lastly, I just want to say thank you so much. This has been an awesome experience for me. I have really enjoyed watching all of the work that you guys have put in. So I really appreciate you spending the time with me. And yeah, anything I can do for y'all just reach out. So have an awesome rest of your Wednesday. And I hope to talk to all of you guys soon. Bye.